We have the bond market closed for Monday, so it is going to be interesting how that is going to affect Monday. And then we have the Fed speaker speaking in the second half of the market. But aside from that, we don't really have much else going on throughout the week. We do have initial jobless data on Thursday as usual. But aside from that, nothing that can make big changes to price action. So the reason why this is interesting is because heading into this week, bulls have the breakout. We are now in an imbalance phase, and we are advancing higher. So what do I mean by we are in an imbalance phase? We were inside of this consolidation here, this digestion that was taking place for about 3 weeks in a limited range from 565 to 574, and we finally broke out. So just to talk about the consolidation, this particular consolidation was pretty much digesting that prior rally that we had. So that tells us that bulls were in control. And once bulls advance above this level of resistance, signals that bulls are going to continue this advance phase towards, I would say, the 580s and 590s. So far, we got the breakout. We had the break test of 574.38 resistance. And now we are back to historic all-time highs, advancing. We closed Friday's session pretty strong, as we can see on the daily chart. And it looks like we can see more upside heading into this week. So the fact that we don't have a lot of heavy weighted data, this is good for bulls to continue breaking out on this price action on the S&P 500. So this is good for the bulls so far. And to look at any bearish opportunities, you want to look at the break below 574.38. So if any sort of news comes out and somehow we plummet all the way down below 574.38, there's no rescuing it from there. This would be pretty much the topping process. But so far, bulls have the benefit of the doubt there. They got the trend on their side, and there are no heavy data this week. Now let's take a look at QQQ. Same with QQQ also, as we can see on the daily chart. QQQ has been consolidating really, really well. And I think the reason why, despite a lot of the tech stocks doing so well, I think the reason why we haven't seen the breakout is because if we look at the S&P 500 here, the S&P 500 has already made new historic all-time highs, as we can see on the daily chart. However, if we look at QQQ, it hasn't done so yet. And the reason why, my personal thoughts is that, and based on market weight, I think it's Microsoft and Apple, especially Microsoft, really being stagnant down here, trading below the 200 SMA line on the daily chart, which puts the stock in a bear market. And I think this is definitely taking a toll on QQQ. There are other stocks, of course. We had a lot of dumping on Tesla over the last couple of weeks, and it really got worse on Friday. So this one has also been pretty much anchoring QQQ from going higher. And heading into this week, I think we do have the possibility to finally break out. So considering that we do have a good level of resistance here, there we have a defined resistance level there. Our bull is going to break out. So for QQQ, this is what I will be looking for heading into this week. If they get above 494.15, I'm looking at trading this to the upside using call options. And if you want to trade the stocks that can potentially lead QQQ higher, we got a lot of chip stocks. So we can take a look at Nvidia here. Nvidia has been doing really well, and so far bulls have the breakout there. We had that mini consolidation there, and so far bulls have the trend there, and they can step in to further extend this rally here above 136 and then advance towards all-time highs. So Nvidia is looking strong. The dip buyers will show up. Another stock that I'm really looking at for upside, I think, is Amazon. Amazon's looking really great. We have a lot of fuel. It shows that the stock has a lot of fuel there, and this could continue to advance. So if I were to recommend one stock to our team here on the tech side heading into the next 2 weeks, it would be Amazon. The reason why I'm recommending Amazon is because I am seeing maybe it could be, honestly, it could be a cyclical rotation here because we are heading into the busy holiday season. If you also look at Lulu here, Lulu looks amazing. This stock is on my weekly watch list, and Lulu is very, very oversold. Ever since the stock got included into the S&P 500, it got heavily dumped by a lot of. I think it got shorted by a lot of hedge funds, and it just was one of those stocks uh, um, that under low volume really got destroyed. And uh, they also did. They did say that they were going to have a softer guidance, so that did also affect it. But for the most part, the stock is very oversold down here, and we are looking like we have a lot of room to the upside. So we have all the way up to 360 just to retest the downtrend. So that's very, very oversold. To me, that's very oversold, and I think this is a good opportunity. So the contracts that I'm looking at for this particular trade is I'm looking at. Um, Let's see. I'm looking at January 17, 2025, 350 call at 5.90. I'm looking to swing trade that contract for Lulu. And for a bigger account, you can buy to open Lulu March 21st, 2025, 340 call. And this one, I believe, was trading at 11.0. So that's a great contract there for the bigger accounts. And I think you're going to bank nicely on it. So you can take a screenshot or you can write it down to have this trade opportunity as a swing trade heading into the upcoming weeks there. Um, all right. So yeah, just like Amazon, I'm liking Lulu here. And then another stock that's looking very similar is Ulta. If we notice, Ulta had its breakout from the downtrend. It put an end to that massive downtrend that we had over the last 7, 8, 9 months. And ever since Warren Buffett announced that he is positioning into Ulta, we have been seeing an increase to the upside, and even earnings, despite it being a bad reaction, got dip bought. We placed that higher high on the shorter time frame. However, we have not broken the higher high structure. Sorry, we have not broken the lower highs or the equal highs on the bigger picture. So, what I essentially thought was going to happen originally was um, sorry about that. I thought we would be going for a retest at the 200 SMA line, making a higher high above those prior structures, and then going down for the higher low, and then moving back up. That didn't happen, as we can see. We rejected the resistance, so we have not seen a firm higher high there. However, we are seeing a higher low there, and this is so far a good thing. We are seeing a good reaction. Where we are getting a retest at the level at the breakout of the downtrend, and this could be a back test before we head back up towards 413, break the level of resistance, and then advance higher. But yeah, so far, team, once we break 413, I think the stock is going to enter an uptrend, and from there it will advance higher. But let's go back to Amazon. Let's go back to tech and take a look at this stock here, see what it's up to. So far, we had a rally-based rally there. We had a nice rally-based rally. And so far, what we have done is we went down, we retested where we broke out from there. And what happens is when you see that, because this zone was a breakout, because the zone was a breakout to the upside, seeing a back test at the zone means that it makes it a demand zone. So the fact that this makes it a demand zone, and we saw a really nice reaction rebound off of that, what we anticipate next on Amazon is a breakout above 195, 195.10, and then we advance towards all-time highs, place new all-time highs, and then yeah, continue to advance from there, because I think the stock is definitely going to make new all-time highs, especially considering that this is a key level of resistance, and so far we are holding really well above it. We're holding really well above it. and we are establishing support very well above it. So that to me, honestly, that to me is really is bullish. And even if we look at the weekly chart here, or let's go to the monthly chart. If we go to the monthly chart, this just looks like another consolidation, as we can see here. That was a nice consolidation. We had a rally-based rally, and now we are seeing another rally-based rally with a lot of liquidity on the earnings scare there. So we saw earnings pushing it down all the way to 159, 151, and so far we ate the entire candle up, engulfed the candle so far, and it looks like bulls may be advancing in the upcoming months here. I think it would be a good idea here for us to get back into the Amazon trade there so that we can continue to take advantage of this upside movement. But yeah, team, so far so good. Amazon looks good trade opportunity for the next 2 weeks here on the tech side, and I hope we make some good money on this. We definitely have the fuel as well. We're heading into the holidays. On the cyclical side of things, seasonality side of things, Amazon is looking good. All right. Now let's go ahead and chart DIA as well. See what's going on. As we mentioned on the Dow Jones Industrials in the prior week, there we mentioned that the Dow Jones had been consolidating inside of this tight zone really well. So when you got a tight zone, you basically wait for a breakout, and once you got a breakout from the level of resistance, you got a nice trend going there. And so far, this is what we have on the Dow Jones, and the Dow Jones is looking strong to continue to push higher. If you want to know what kind of stocks are pushing this particular ETF higher, this portfolio, we got UNH, we got GS, which is Goldman Sachs belonging to the financial sector, banks. We got Microsoft. Well, Microsoft's not really doing much. We got Caterpillar, which is part of the industrials, that's doing really well. The industrials have just been doing phenomenal. I mean, take a look at Caterpillar here. Just incredible rally so far. But yeah, team, so far the DIA is looking like we are going to get more upside here, and yeah, so the market is looking good and healthy. It's balanced out really well, and I think it's going to continue to push higher from here, with QQQ being the lagger and pretty much catching up here. So are we going to see a breakout above 493.81? And if we do see a breakout above this level, where is this going to head towards? Well, we got a gap at 496.43, which I think will be filled pretty fast. The algos are going to go for that pretty fast. And then the main target is going to be this level of resistance, which is the previous historic all-time high at 503.52. So that's what I will be looking for if we do get that expansion from the digestion of the 20 EMA line. So we expanded from here. This is where we regained the 20 EMA line. We had a nice expansion. Now we pretty much played out the contraction, and so far looks like bulls are heading for another expansion there, as we can see from the historical data that we see once we are above the 20 EMA line. Now we're going to cover where we believe rotation is going to head into. So rotation is very likely to continue into XLF. So XLF, we mentioned this breakout last week on the prior Sunday meeting, and so far beautiful advance, beautiful expansion. I will be honest, team, we definitely got out. We got out of WFC for amazing profits before earnings, but Rainbond, on the other hand, she kept her JPM alert into earnings, and you guys absolutely banked on this. And there were like 15 comments, 15 different traders that posted about their profits on JPM. So that was really nice. Very nice trade. They had great reaction to earnings, and so far it looks like bulls are going to continue to push higher, break above historic all-time highs at 225 and so forth. So I believe that banks are going to continue to rotate into JPM, especially WFC as well, to head towards historic all-time highs. And something that I love about these kind of trades is that this right here, with the RSI getting above 70%. Now, the reason why I point this out is because if we are in an uptrending market, once the RSI gets above 70%, that is a signal for a melt-up operation. And if we take a look at right here, this is a good example there. Massive melt-up operation. Then again, we get above the 70% RSI, massive melt-up operation. So is this going to lead to another melt-up operation? I think so. Taking a look at JPM as well, this is the same thing I noticed about the RSI. It just looks like they're going to have a massive green day on Monday or Tuesday, where they will get closer to the 70% RSI and then get that melt up. If you notice, this poor stock actually has been failing its melt up for quite some time. We saw it right here, right here, right here, 3 times just in the last 4 months there. So, sorry, in the last 5 months there. So is this finally going to get the melt up operation? And I think the melt up operation can really send JPM all the way towards the 250s. So this could be a good opportunity there, team. I'm looking at 240s by the end of this year. We have Boeing here, and Boeing, despite reporting earnings on October 24th, I think may be a good opportunity. We did get a nice bullish engulfing candle reaction on Friday's session, a really nice reversal. And considering that we are at the bottom, we have retested the lower support of this channel here, this bear channel, this downtrend channel. I think bulls are next going to recover from here, continuing that reversal there with a follow through, and then heading back up towards the 170s. So this could be a good opportunity to look at for long term. They are going for restructuring in the organization and layoffs. Very interesting, Mariapon. Very, very interesting. If that is the case, I think I strongly think this will be a bottom, because we did notice what happens once companies start doing that. Usually, it does create a nice ripple effect on the stock. So I think this is good opportunity so far. So far, the daily chart is printing a bullish engulfing, and I think this one's going to get a follow through on Monday and Tuesday session. Again, like I said, there are so many banks that showed up on my scanner. BX is another. Blackstone, of course, we all know this corporation. There are many. GS is another one. GS is looking very, very strong. I think this one's going to get a very, very strong upside breakout above this key level right there. And yeah, this is going to be very interesting heading into this upcoming week when they report earnings. PNC, this is another financial services stock. This one's also breaking out from its level of resistance. So you can see why I'm feeling bullish on banks, team. There's just so many banks that are doing well, that just are looking very, very bullish. And I think the momentum is just very overwhelming on them. So let's take a look at Tesla for the team there. This is Tesla so far. It's not looking good. I'll be really honest. The event definitely underwhelmed. It did not overwhelm, and this is so far this is what the reaction has been. So heading into Monday, if we get a bullish engulfing where we get some sort of candle like this engulfing all of Friday session and pretty much closing the session above that, then I will look for a potential trade, for a potential bullish trade back up towards 239 gap fill, where this sell-off will just be absorbed, and then Tesla will be back here and then pretty much advance back up. But so far, I don't see that as likely, because, and I'll be really honest, team, my thoughts have changed a lot about Tesla. I just don't see it as that stock anymore. I think Tesla will probably sell off eventually, and I think once it does sell off again, it's going to have the same sell off that we saw back in when was it? Back in, I believe it was, we saw back in late 22 to early 2023, we saw that massive sell-off from 317 all the way down to 100. It's one of those times where we want to stay away from it. It needs some sort of catalyst, because Tesla is one of those stocks right now that's having identity issues. It doesn't know what to be, and the things that it wants to be, that the market wants to look out for, it's not there. The technology is just not there for Tesla. They talked about the Optimus, and I don't know if that Optimus was real, to be honest with you, because even Apple, even the Apple events that we had with Steve Jobs and those guys, it came out years later that a lot of the technology wasn't even there at the time. It just was a remote controlled, and the reward is just not worth the risk. I mean, it's not looking good, honestly. I think there are so many other greater opportunities out there we can focus on, aside from Tesla, that are pretty much getting the trend, that are getting the market trend, and especially going into the small caps with inflows slowly coming back to equities. Um, I think that rotation could greatly benefit a lot of the small caps that could see tremendous upside from here. So I'm going to continue to be patient for that. Oh my goodness, that's a beautiful candle. We are going to enter IWM here. We are seeing the reaction we are looking for. Finally, we're getting that massive demand candle. We have well maintained above the 20 EMA line. We got that beautiful contraction from the 228 peak. And so far, I think this is really beautiful. That's a beautiful setup for IWM. And I think we are now preparing to break out above 224 resistance and head towards 233. So team, just like I said, I'm really bullish on small caps. And the reason why is because if you pay attention to the pretty much to the 1970s, small caps got beat really, really bad. And the reason why is because this is when we had inflation. We had we suffered through horrible inflation. Well, I didn't, but my parents and the people that were alive suffered through that, and what we saw was small caps really getting beat, and we saw the same happening in 2021 as well as 2022, where a lot of the small caps just got absolutely destroyed. But now, if I go and check out the same small caps that were getting destroyed back in 2022, and I look at it right now, for example, you guys all remember WKHS, right? Workhorse. Well, we can see that even a small speck of that, that demand is really rotating into those stocks again. So are we going to see those massive, massive gainers on the small caps? That's something that I'm really looking forward to. And I'm not particularly looking at this crappy stock here, team. There are so many other great small cap stocks that I am looking at. I just wanted to give you the ideas to where the rotation could be flowing into in the upcoming months here. So yeah, eyes on IWM. Matter of fact, team, pick up a call on IWM. I think this is going to be really good. And something that I love about IWM is that the contracts are actually cheap. So you could look into January 17, 2025, and you could buy the 230 call, or if you want, you could even buy the 235 call, currently trading at 5.0, and pretty much hold that for that breakout above 224. Because what happens is once we break above 224, we could see a really, really nice strong demand breakout, pretty much squeeze operation above the level of resistance. Another terminology would be a beautiful liquidity above 224, where we can head towards 235 and retest the historic all-time highs there from, I believe, 2020. So we can see 2020, pretty much back in late 2020, we went all the way up to 244 on IWM. So looking at this cup and handle that has been in motion on the monthly chart, I think this time we could well break above 244 and then advance much, much higher from there. Team, there's a lot of talks in the town. They say that the S&P 500 could be poised to see over 200% gain in the next 4 years. Basically, they're saying that it's going to be a repeat of 1995, where we saw the dot-com that led to the .com, and they're saying that we could see something similar. I'm not sure how to feel about that. I'm just trading it as we have been. I'm trading it one candle at a time, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, um, each minute at a time. And so far, just looking at the chart, bulls are there. The demand is there, and I think they can continue to advance higher as long as that demand is there. Um, and I think the next two areas that could get a lot of buying. Of course, we looked at DIA, we looked at the S&P 500, which have both made new historic all-time highs. Now I'm looking at QQQ, taking a look at QQQ here. Even on the weekly chart, we can see we have a nice rally-based rally that is preparing to head towards 503, place new historic all-time highs, and then see further highs from there. So that's QQQ there, and then we also have IWM. I love what I'm seeing on IWM, and I think this has been some really beautiful digestion to pretty much wait for the moving averages to catch up. And now that the 20 EMA is close, I think they're ready to get that expansion so that the 200 SMA line can finally see that curve back up, see that slope back up. So I'm bullish on IWM, especially considering the conditions and um, the amount of money sitting on the side that can flow into the small cap. And team, I've also been seeing a lot of Russell 2000 stocks beating earnings, which is another catalyst that I was looking forward to. And I'm really seeing a lot of Russell 2000 stocks reporting very strong earnings. So just going through my scanner here, we can see, wow, this one, TCS Container Store, this stock saw major upside, 70% upside. Wow. So this Pack B, apps, Digital Turbine. I think Digital Turbine will be a really good one, team. What I am noticing here is that I'm seeing that curve and a lot of buying volume is coming in. Oh my gosh, this could be a good one there, team. I think this could push all the way up to $6 heading into next year. I'll do more research, of course, but we can see this small cap. I shared this one last week on the last Sunday meeting, and I talked about it as a momentum trade, team. And take a look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is when we mentioned it. And so far, it just had a really, really beautiful week. And it just closed it um, by having a beautiful firework on Friday session for the Bulls. Just really incredible with the RSI getting above the 70%. But yeah, I'll continue to look at these kind of stocks. NRGV, this one's looking very strong. But a lot of these stocks, this one's a beautiful candle there on STRO. I'm going to look at these stocks and see um, how their fundamentals are as well. Usually, what I do is I not only look at price action, but I try to see what industries they're in, what sectors they're in, so that I can look to see if the rotation is there for that given sector. And if it is, then I buy it. I call it a quality trade setup. And if it's not, I would be a bit cautious on it. Let's say I would take a more cautious approach. But yeah, so far, team, I'm looking at a lot of small caps, and I'm telling you, a lot of these stocks are looking ready for some nice rocket moves higher. So pay attention to small cap stocks heading into the next 2 years here. That concludes my session for today. Actually, team, before I close it, um, Rainbod requested that I also look at her analysis and share my thoughts. So I'm gonna go ahead and the price action, and let's take a look at some of the stocks that she is looking at as well. So I also noticed, oh yeah, team, good thing that we went back because I forgot TGT. So another stock that I'm looking at is TGT. Take a look at this beautiful stock. So just like how we looked at Amazon, just like how we looked at Ulta, we looked at Lulu, a lot of these retail stocks are looking like they're getting strong rotation inflows. And this one also, Target, let's check out my analysis on Target. So the stock is currently starting a potential uptrend expansion as shown on the daily chart. The chart setup has a nice double bottom, as we can see here. It has a nice double bottom and could see a strong expansion all the way up towards the earnings peak at 167. So this is where the earnings peak went. Basically, we had very strong earnings report, and overnight we went from 144 all the way to 167, and we spent over pretty much we have spent over 2 months holding. Actually, we even filled the gap, so that's really really healthy. The fact that we went down, we filled the gap there on target, and we are rebounding back up. That's very very healthy. That's a very healthy reaction, and I think we are going to break out above this downtrend line here and advance towards 181. So I'm looking at target as well. I think this is a good opportunity. And the trade that I'm going to buy for this, the way that I'm going to trade this setup is I'm going to buy to open target March 21st, 2025, 180 call at 5.0. Although it has a little bit of a wide spread, the spread is going to close in as we approach the expiration date and get closer to that strike. So again, the chart setup has a really nice double bottom that can send it towards its recent earnings reaction peak at 167. It's currently trading at 158. As long as it remains above 152, we're going to buy to open March 21st, 2025, 180 call at 5.0. So take a look at target as well, and you guys let me know what you think about it. Now, another stock team, this is my earnings trade strategies, DPZ. DPZ is looking very, very strong. We got basically what this strategy is my earnings strategy is I look at it and what I'm looking for is strictly price action. Are we going to see a strong earnings reaction the next day? If we see a strong earnings reaction, that means that we are going to get strong continuation and we're going to advance from there. So DPZ is seeing something like that. And the next level that I'm looking out for as my target is 448. So I think this is a good stock to buy a long-term call option on it, heading towards 448, and even this gap fill at 473. So keep your eyes out on DPZ. And the reason why is because this stock, despite it being a massive, it's trading at 429, but believe it or not, it's actually in the Russell 2000. So keep your eyes out on DPZ. I think it's a great opportunity here. Starting tomorrow, team. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at some of Rain Bond's trades here. Rain Bond is looking at Rost. Rost has been continuously trading inside of this strong uptrend channel on the daily chart, on the daily time frame, as we can see here, and very, very strong reaction off of support, and we are seeing similar reaction there. And I think this is a great setup, considering that rotation is really flowing into a lot of these retail stocks. I think that just adds another really great setup to the table. We'll be looking to grab January 17, 155 call at 3.30 or lower for at least 2 to 3 weeks swing trade. So Ross, this is a good one, team. Schwab, she shared her analysis on Schwab. Schwab currently holding, I'm holding June 2025 80 call, up 22% of earnings goes positive, could hit 74 to 80. So looks like this trade is for those of you that are already in Schwab, that are up 22%. This stock could head towards 77 to 80. UPS has been trading inside of this bullish falling wedge formation on the daily time frame. We'll be looking to enter again for long-term opportunity by buying to open June 20, 2025, 155 call at 4.20 or lower. I think this is looking really great here, team. But they do have earnings soon. So yeah, this is looking like a good opportunity there for June 20, 2025, 155 call. I think despite having earnings, that's a great opportunity for the long term for that strike price. Amazon potential momentum play for next week. Contract I'm eyeing is March 21st, 2025, 225 call at 5.0 or lower. So she's anticipating that we've already broken the downtrend, the short-term downtrend there, the corrective wave, and looks like bulls are stepping back in for the after placing the higher low. They're stepping back in for the higher high above the 200s, and yeah, so far this is a good. This is looking really good. Rivian bullish falling wedge pattern on the daily, testing the previous demand zone, currently holding the January 16, 2026 15 call at 228. Anyone interested to trade this setup can still pick it up. So team, for those of you that are not in Rivian, you can pick up January 16, 2026 15 call at 2.28. I actually saw a video on the news where the hurricane had pretty much moved the Rivian truck over 150 feet away, and the truck was perfectly fine. It had been fully engulfed in water and mud, but somehow the truck just turned on and worked perfectly fine, opposed to Tesla's explosion. So I think this is good news for. I hate Tesla, you guys. It's just one of those stocks I really don't like anymore. So I think that's another reason to be positive, to be bullish on Rivian here as a good opportunity for the long term. And this one gives you plenty of time. I mean, January 16, 2026, that gives you so much time. 15 call at 228. Halliburton broke up over downtrend line on the daily time frame. We are so far forming a digestion above the 50 daily SMA line, looking for entry again for June 20, 2025, 35 call at 2.0 or lower. Looks like she is looking for a continuation on this newly uptrend that has formed from 27 support rebound. Off of that support, we broke the downtrend there, the downtrend line, and so far we have been consolidating and looking like bulls are preparing for another advanced move towards the 35 area. The main focus heading into this week is looking for good opportunities in the market and sharing that with the team. But so far, I'm liking Amazon on the tech side of things. I'm really excited for this week. I tested my schedule for last week for how I want my day-to-day to run, and I loved it. So I'm really excited to continue to practice on that schedule for the next 2 to 3 years and be in the live trading room every single day. So you're going to see me in the live trading room very often from now. But yeah, team, take care. Have a great night, and thank you all so much. I see so many of us are in here, and so many of you are so active that I don't even want to get off. But again, we got to end the session so we can keep it short. It can update fast, render fast so that I can upload it. But thank you so much, team. I really thank you for your time, for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the night. Let's make some good trades. Let's have another amazing week in the markets. So far, we got the trend on our side, and there's not a lot of events that are coming out that can potentially affect the market. So let's make some good profits this week, team. Take care. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the night.